Hey everyone, here I'm back for this week's free lesson. And today what I want to do is I want to do a little exercise, and I'm going to call it the 3-shape exercise. And kind of the purpose of it is to help build fretboard awareness and or chord awareness, on our fretboard. And it's just an exercise to get you trying to build some technique. And again, just build overall. I feel like a lot of people don't have very good, fretboard awareness, and they don't know where chords are at and where notes are at. So this is just going to be just one of, there's lots of different exercises we could probably do, but one I've created here. And again, we're going to do the 3 shapes. There's 3 kind of like main shapes to get, just creating chords on the guitar. So. And we're going to refer to these kind of in what they would be in first position. So, for instance, we have F chord, right? Well, that's we're going to refer to an F shape because that's what it is in first position. And we're going to do this whole exercise in the key of G and the key of C. So we have F shape. So I move it up 2 frets. It's a G chord, right? So F shape playing a G chord. The other shape that we have, and I'm actually just going to be doing the 3 strings, the 3 highest sounding strings. The other shape that we have is B flat shape. 1, 3, 3. Okay. And that G chord is up here. Okay. 10, 12, 12. And then the other shape that we have is D shape. You guys know D chord. It's a G chord here on 7, 8, 7. So what I'm going to do, again with the 3-shape exercise, okay, we're going to add some notes in there too. So now we're starting to become aware, there's a G chord here, there's a G chord here, and there's a G chord here. Might be a little out of tune up there on my guitar. My Taylor 110 has its limits. So yeah, those 3 shapes are super powerful for beginning to kind of unlock soloing, understanding the fretboard at a deeper level, like knowing the notes on your fretboard. So those 2 things. And again, this is just a snippet. This is not gonna like just poof, just unlock things instantly. I mean, it might help, but this nice little exercise. So here's what the exercise sounds like. Again, I just want to make sure that you're aware that these shapes kind of a big deal, though. You have the F shape, we have a D shape, and we have a B flat shape. Again, referring to those in first position. I just sounded G chords the whole time. G, G. But those were the shapes, okay? Because those were all closed shapes, right? So we can move those around. A, A, A. We can move this all around. So here's just a simple little exercise that I'm going to strum for a bar on the chord, and then I'm going to play some notes around it, okay? So and that's it. Here we go again now. Nothing too crazy, right? But I just now I know. And again, everything I'm doing is mostly major and or major pentatonic. I'm not going to cover the scales in this lesson. I'm just covering the shapes in this exercise. But that's what it's kind of getting to. I'm kind of combining some scales and I'm combining chord shapes. Okay, I'm trying, again, it's all about building the awareness. And I'm going to create this whole section I am creating is a third done about, it's going to be how to build, I think, what's my title here? What do I have written down? Building fretboard awareness, I think is what I'm going to title it. And this is just one little exercise. It's going to be inside of this. It's going to be a lot of scales, chord shapes, exercises, and how to apply them. So I digress from that, but this is a little teaser for that course coming up, hopefully the end of January of 2017, and it's gonna happen because I'm spending time on it. So there's the first bit. So you can download the tabs, members. You can download the tabs right below. That's the first 3 measures right there. And those are all notes inside the key of G, right? It's kind of right there was mostly major pentatonic. I did have the B note in there, so it kind of makes it just major. There's a difference between major, G major, and G major pentatonic. So I can use those notes to solo, and I can land back on a chord. Okay, now I'm going to go up to neck, and I'm going to get into my D shape, okay? So I'm going to slide up to 7 on the G. And that's the D shape. I'm fingering it a little bit differently than like that. I'm actually barring across 7 and second finger's on the 8th fret. And this is really the full D shape, and I maybe should have mentioned that a little bit. But I'm not, this exercise, we're just using the highest 3 strings really. You might do that. I'm going to break it down even farther. Okay. I've talked about this shape a little bit in some of my lessons, some of the song lessons. So, very major sounding. I'm a little out of tune. I need new strings. Those were measures 4 and 5. And then I'm going to get up to the B flat shape. And I'm going to go all the way up to the 12th fret. Again, 12, 12, 10. That's very major pentatonic sounding. Shoot all the way back down to the beginning. And again, just a little exercise, right? Get your fingers warmed up, build some technique, get used to those shapes, knowing where those shapes are on the fretboard. Chord awareness. Are you aware there's a chord here? Are you aware there's a chord here? You know what I mean? We need to know that to become a better player. You know what I mean? To be a more accomplished musician. And then you can kind of, I go really slow at first. If if this is new, go slow. It's not about speed yet. Okay? Or slower. And then, of course, if you're more comfortable with these shapes, then we want to speed it up. And now we're starting to build technique. Right? We're creating building blocks for executing more complicated moves on the guitar, more complicated phrasings, passages, soloing stuff. We're building technique because otherwise you can't execute some of that stuff if you don't have good technique. Okay? So, the 3-shape exercise, okay? Pretty simple, just a little tidbit out of it. And I'm going to do the key of C here real quick. Members, if you guys got questions, leave comments below, questions below. And again, this is just a snippet of what's going to come out at the end of January. Building fretboard awareness, I believe is what I'm going to title it these days. And it's going to have a lot of stuff. It's going to have shapes, scale-based shape-based scales. It's going to have major, minor, pentatonic scales, major scales for G, C, and D. Tons of exercises, beginning to improvise, connecting chords with scale stuff. So it's going to have a lot of stuff. It's going to be available at the store and for Premier members. Let's do the C one. So here's C. There's our B flat shape. Here's a C chord. Okay, if we go to the next C chord, it's going to be the F shape. 8, 8, 10, or 8, sorry, did I say that right? No, I didn't. 8, 8, 9. And then the next shape is D shape. It's way up here on the fretboard. And that one sounds not very good in tune on my guitar. Okay, again, you know, this bass model Taylor only has so much. And it could probably use a little setup, new strings, but still. So. And you can figure that sometimes I use my pinky and my third finger, sometimes I use my second finger and third finger. Either way is totally fine. You might want to be able to do it both ways, to be honest. Way up there. It's tough if you don't have a cutaway or whatever. So there it is. Again, I took those 3 shapes. I did it for the key of C, or just C chord. I guess the scales stuff was in the key of C. And I played all 3 C chords on my fretboard. And it helps me become aware of where stuff is. And then I can solo in those areas and, yes, become aware. How many times have I said awareness in this lesson? And even just it's a good exercise. Whoop. Going back to G. So just even doing that, can I make the 3 shapes? You know, is good practice. Okay, so you can download the tabs. Just use that. Warm up with it for 10 minutes, you know. It will help. It will help. Especially if you're looking to kind of unlock some things as far as trying to solo. If you want to take it just a step farther, we got here about 12 minutes. I don't like to make these too long. If you want to take it a step farther, you can start to dissect those shapes. And what I mean by that is, how are they voiced? What are the notes? So if I go back to G chord, play my F shape, 3, 5, 1. Every chord has, well, major chords has 3 notes, the 1, the 3, the 5. So it doesn't always voice like that. There's inversions and so forth. So in this case, 3, the 3rd note of that chord, the 5th note of that chord, 1st note of that chord. Or the scale degree, I should say scale degrees. 3rd scale degree, 5th, 1st. Key of G. I go to the D shape, 5, 1, 3. Go to the C shape, 1, 3, 5. Okay, and those shapes, again, since they're movable, it's the same. So, key of C, 1, 3, 5, right? The B flat shape. Here, the F shape, 3, 5, 1. Pretty sure I'm saying these right. And then the D shape. We have 5, 1, 3. Yep. So start to know what the notes are in those little chords. Okay, and you can pluck your melodies out. Start, a lot of melodies start on 1, 3, 5. So there, if you want to take it a step farther, you can dissect it a little bit. Okay? All right, so that's what I got for you guys. I hope you just use this exercise. Just do it a little bit here and there. I think you'll find it very useful. I found it useful since I've learned it, and now I've kind of created a lesson for it. So leave your questions in your comments below, and I will answer them. Have a great day, and till next time.